Good evening, members, and welcome to the meeting of the Community Committee on Tuesday, the 7th of October, which is being held in the Crewe Town Council offices. The agenda to receive apologies for absence.
Councillor Ben White.
Item 2, to note any declarations on members' interests. No, none. So, to confirm and sign the minutes of the community meeting held on the 17th of July 2025. Any questions, any issues to be raised? Can I have a proposal, please? Councillor Edwards, seconded. Councillor Paisley. All those in favour?
Just sign there and just page, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. Public participation, a period not exceeding 50 minutes for the members of the public to ask questions or submit comments relating to items within the agenda. Any member of the public wishing to participate should email support@Crewe Town Council by 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting, providing their name, email address and an indication of the subject of their questions or comments. Alternatively, your comment or question can be submitted in advance and read to the committee at the meeting. Attendance at the meeting in person is permitted, but space is limited, and you'll be asked to consider if you might be able to access the meeting virtually in consideration of available space and associated safety guidance. So, have we had any questions submitted?
No, we haven't.
So, we do have members of the public attending to observe. They haven't submitted any questions before the scheduled time. Moving on to item 5, to review the year-to-date financial position for the Communities Committee. Could I ask the committee clerk to present the agenda item, please?
Yes, I have no concerns. The payments are not on yet. That's due to that month end hasn't happened. I have no concerns with this financial statement. It reflects my figures. Really.
Members, any questions related to the agenda item? Councillor Edwards.
Yeah, I'm just noting the percentage spent on each item. There's some which are very low. I was wondering.
Yeah, so we have staged payments, April and October. So a load of invoice requests have just gone out. There's more to come in this financial year as well. So it's Remembrance Sunday, for example, Tree of Light. That'll all come in the later part of the year. Yes.
Any more questions? So the item is just for noting. Okay, consensus. Are we happy with it to move on?
Yes.
Thank you, members. Item 6, to consider matters related to the grant application received. So from
So Katie is a new member of staff for those that haven't met her. Katie has been supporting me in the supporting community, and she has dealt with the grant applications this time round. There is only one for consideration this evening, and I'll hand over to Katie to talk you.
It's just the one application, as Jackie says. We did go back to them. Dawn and I met
a couple of weeks
with the preliminary checks against grant criteria. And there wasn't a great deal of detail in the application. So we went back with a few more questions which are all answered within your pack. And really that's it. It's just up to members to let us know.
Did she actually answer the question specifically that Dawn was asking?
She did answer the questions, but they're not especially detailed. For example, there's not a specific project and there's nothing.
Yeah, one of the concerns that I raised was that, as we're aware, the grant applications, we don't fund actual salaries of individuals, and I wanted to know the breadth of the people that we will be paying for the counselling sessions, because as far as I'm aware, this is a one-person organisation and delivers to herself, and I don't feel that question has been sufficiently answered for us as members to make that decision. So I think most probably if Katie can go back, and we can leave it then to myself and Katie to make a decision based on those other questions. Councillor Rhodes.
Have they indicated that they're going to give any joint funding? Because we always say that they have to give a percentage, and I can't see any mention.
So it was all they've meant is that it would be in volunteered time, but again, it we're not aware of who is volunteering and then the volunteering hours. So again, the question hasn't quite been satisfied or the match funding. So you know, the project, I think it is, you know, is valid and it's something that we should be supporting, but we need to make sure that we're supporting this in the right way and it meets our criteria. So, Councillor Rhodes.
I'd like to propose that we decline it.
I'll second.
That's seconded by Councillor St Francis. So, put that all to members that we decline the application. All those in favour?
Can we go back to it like you?
Yeah,
Always one. So this is the second time.
Yeah.
Oh right, in that case.
Yeah. Okay. All those against declining it? Any abstentions? Okay. That was a very short grandstand because that was the only application that we have ever happened. So, yeah. So, item 7 is to provide an update to members on projects funded through the grant schemes that have ended since the last committee meeting. So, if Vicky Clark.
Yeah, I will go through these with you. So as part of our process, every time a grant ends, we ask for evaluation. And that drops in, we trace it, we keep a record of it, and that drops in as the money runs out. So on this occasion, there are 2, and the evaluation is provided. It really is just to be noted. It's lovely to read what they did with the money and how our funding benefited their projects.
Can I have a comment? I've actually been to St Andrews for Response to Help.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's joyful.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a lot of the people who are benefiting from it, so I think it's an incredibly valuable investment.
It really is.
Yeah.
Really well, and it's really credible, good evaluation as well.
You enjoyed yourself.
I did actually.
I was against the rules. Sorry.
We actually, the dementia group also employ the same person to come and deliver activities at our dementia group, and it's Bettina.
Oh, is it?
It is, yeah. So
Great.
So she's, I challenge anybody not to go away from her session with a smile on their face, an ache in their body.
Yeah,
She does put you through. Yeah, she does put you through your paces. So it's good to see that it. That's what our grants are
Give
about.
me the address so I can stay away with it.
Okay,
Right.
next one is there.
Yeah. So in your packs, page I have put in a members item, but I'm withdrawing the members item because I'm delighted to say that I don't need to ask for it because we've received sponsorship for this event. Just to tell you about the event, so somebody's sponsoring the trophy and also the refreshments. I was put in an order to Taste for Life, and they're actually going to sponsor the refreshments themselves as well. But it's a really nice event that we've sort of jointly with the Stroke Association and Parkinson's and the Iris Group and Hopes and Beams, where we all sort of use Everybody Sports and Leisure guy, Andy Molyneux, who's excellent, to come along and deliver some exercise classes, seated exercise classes and that, and boccia and archery and hoops and throwing things at objects at things. So you'd love it. So me and Liz Benson from the Stroke Association were chatting one day. We said, bet we're better than you type of thing. And we thought, right, we'll have a competition. So this is the first. We think it's the first in the world. The seated ability games.
Sure.
So yes. We're claiming it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there'll be similar activities. So each of those organisations are putting in a team, and we'll have a team sort of challenge and scoring at the end of it. So somebody else has already sponsored for me medals. So we've got bronze, silver, and gold medals and winners' medals. And as I say, there'll be an overall trophy because we hope this will be the inaugural one. They'll go on in every. So everybody Sports and Leisure are providing the facilities, and their coaches are really into it all as well. So yes, so that's on the 28th of October at 1 p.m. at Crewe Lifestyle Centre. We will be expecting them there to come along to present the trophies around 3:30 after everybody's retiring. So and yeah, so we've even got lots of people interested. I was at an NHS Trust meeting with the chief exec of Lane Hospital, and he is really oh wow, so he wants to come along and see what we're doing as well. So yeah, so amongst all physio people and that, he's really got people thinking about it. So yeah, so really excited, as you can see, about it. So and for what it's actually sort of costing to pull it all together, it's really sort of been really lovely. It's just going to be about people enthusiasm, and it's not just an annual. As I say, it's in the inaugural games meeting. So yeah, so I just thought I'd take the time to actually, because we need to pad out the meeting a bit, to tell you that Dennis is chomping at the bit to say something. Yes, I don't need your money. Yeah, so I just thought I'd tell you about it because I've got sponsorship coming out of my ears now. So the people are just wanting to get involved.
I was at the stroke group meeting this morning in Union Street.
Yeah.
And they brought it up.
Yeah.
And they seemed more excited than I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Just to say, because you're on a journey, because you've got a certain condition, you might have been competitive in sport. Doesn't mean that you're not going to still be competitive. And believe me, I take my group to bowling class out on various different activities, and they get competitive. They can get competitive against a game of cribbage, so so a game of dominoes. So so it's that competitive instinct is still there with people, and it's a joy to watch people actually coming and doing it. And we'll have this audience part, to come round as well. So there'll be audience will be able to follow and support them. Wheelchair activities. So if they're in a wheelchair, then the ramps will be provided to take part in the games and everything. So it's all inclusive. So it's.
I confirm that the mayor can come.
Thank you very much. I will go in official form. Yeah. Right. So moving on. Thank you for your letting me rant. But it was a nice. So, which makes a change for me. So, right, agenda item 9, which is the business plan update. So, over to the clerk.
Okay, so just really trying to give members a little bit of an update on where we're up to in terms of funding expenditure that has been approved for this year. We have quite a few agreements, as members are aware. We have SLAs on a 3-year agreement. So we've got quite a few coming to the end of year 3, so we've got a chance to reassess. And I think with community strategy happening, I think we've got a real chance for this money to go where it's proven it's needed. So we're not just going to assume that we're going to automatically roll on. So for example, Pop Up in the Parks, year 3 of 3 is complete. We've got, what else have we got? Wishing Well Supported Adults, year 3 of 3. Now that is one that I think is a really good one that we'd love to continue, but again, we're going to look at what strategy tells us. Wishing Well Friendship Groups is year 3 of 3. Again, that's a really good one. There's lots, I'm not saying we won't fund them, but we do need to look at it. Dementia Friendly Crew, the Afternoon Club, year 3 of 3. So obviously that's coming up as well for renewal. So there's lots of things in the, so, Martin, you pointed out before that certainly expenditure is low. Obviously, Remembrance Sunday we're well underway with that. We've got the All Partners planning meeting for that on Tuesday. It's sorted, it's organised. Rosie and I have been through it, and it's pretty much ready now to be delivered. The Tree of Light service isn't going to be called the Tree of Light service. That is going to be on Lyceum Square, and it will be some sort of title that mentions reflection. There'll still be stars. Prem are already getting requests for stars. when can we have the stars? So there will still be stars, but we'll probably use the screen to put messages on as well and beam on throughout the service, as well as physical stars, which will go in the windows of Brew and in the market hall. I've got a meeting at market hall on tomorrow actually, to go through exactly what we can do there. We're coming up to evaluation time, so Katie has sent out requests for evaluations for, we seek midway evaluations. People have submitted invoices for the second half of their money, but we also look at the evaluation first to keep a check on it. I mean, mostly we know that it's okay because we're on it if not, but it's just good to have it on record. White Ribbon, as you know, we are partnered with Her Place now, so there will be an event on White Ribbon Day, 25th of November, I think that is, which will be run by Motherwell or Her Place and supported by us. We also support them for the period dignity and wellbeing sessions. Bereavement counselling is rolling on, that's doing really well. Veterans support, we're just about to fund the RBL for their second half of this year. They're looking at various Christmas support groups. Circus Star, that's obviously, you know what that is, the evaluation will be provided at the next meeting. And we've recently funded the debt counselling support at Chance Changing Lives, and that's gone out with the service level agreement quite recently. And I've put the quote on there, not the quote, the proposal on there, so you can see exactly what we funded them for. If you move on, the Youth Federation event, that went really, really well, and we have asked them to complete the evaluation form, which they've done, and I've provided on page 29. That rolls on, and then Crucial Crew, that is another one that's coming up to that's the end of the project, so we're looking at that as well. Male Mental Health, Wilderness Tribe, that's another one that's coming to the end of year 3. But we also fund Swan CIC for male mental health, that's only in year 1. Community Awards, that's going on in February. We will be sending invitations for nominations out after Remembrance Sunday and before the Christmas switch on, with a deadline of mid-January, so that it gives people time to get the nominations in, and Sally will include you in that as we get closer to it. A couple of defibs are out of action. 2 of them have developed exactly the same fault. I sent them back to the manufacturer yesterday, so they've been taken offline. So as soon as we get them back, they'll be back out again, but there's some sort of fault going on with there. Food and Crew, Dawn and I held a meeting here last Monday evening, wasn't it, where we got all the food groups together, including Graham from CBS, and we talked about collaboration. Sally was obviously, Sally's big theme for this year, Sally the Mayor, I should say. And we just looked at how we can collaborate. We invited Changing Lives together here to welcome them officially to Crew. A WhatsApp group has been set up, because what's happening is Changing Lives Together have huge storage space, and they're a proven commodity, and they get huge amounts of food, but they don't know where to share it, so it's leaving Crew. So now what's going to happen is there will be a WhatsApp group. I've got 2 pallets of pizzas, who wants them? So we're just trying to break down the boundaries a little bit, because it's a little bit of, it went very well.
It went very well.
It went really well, and we're going to do it again in sort of 4 to 6 weeks' time. The Filipino group at the moment is the only thing that we funded out of the EDI allocation. And then Stroke Survivors Group. So Stroke Survivors Group put in a grant application, and it's topical because obviously Dennis and Dawn have just been talking about it. This is as members are aware, a really good beneficial group that do really well. And they apply every other year to our grant scheme, and we funded them about 3 times now, and they've applied again this year, but they can't apply, they're not eligible because the time has, it's not every other year yet. So I thought I took it out of the grant applications because it wasn't eligible, but I thought that it might be one of those ones we've looked at before where we say, actually this is worthy of a funding agreement, not a grant agreement, because it benefits many. So I put the grant application in as it was, so that you could see that it isn't a grant, it's a funding request. And I would suggest that if we do fund them, we do it on a 1-year SLA, get evaluation at the end. If we feel it's going well, we'll then roll them onto a 3-year SLA.
Can I,
Of course you
got
can.
a pecuniary interest?
Okay.
I'm a trustee of the
Okay,
group.
so Dennis, pecuniary interest, non-pecuniary.
Non-pecuniary.
Right, okay. Anyone else in there? Do you don't know?
You know I don't use words that are longer than me.
No, I'm not official.
No, so just Dennis, and I'll
Yeah.
add you to the trace. So,
Is there any questions from members on this before we go to a decision?
Just want to say how valuable it is, and I completely agree we should.
right, okay. Any other? Is that a proposal?
So is that
That's
proposed?
a proposal,
Yeah. Anybody wish to second to move it to from grants to health and wellbeing funded? Councillor Edwards.
So would it be £1,140?
Well, this is the decision. So we can go up to, well, we can go up to whatever we want, but we normally go up to 2,500 on a service level agreements. But if we were to say we're going to give them 2,500, I'd obviously go back to them and say, what can you do with this money and where would it go? So if members were minded to fund it, I would suggest delegating it to officer and chair so that we can make it absolutely right with them, but definitely just on a 1 year service level agreement to start with.
Because I just I've seen that they've also sought funding elsewhere
Yeah,
of
yeah.
over £25,000.
Yes.
They do really, really well.
Yeah.
They'll take money from anyone.
Yeah.
I think we've got two options. We have some EDI funding available, so obviously quality, diversity, inclusion. So we could take it out of that pot, or we can just take it out of the general wellbeing pot. But same thing really, but there is an allocated amount. So if we do have the funding available, this fits the bill, doesn't it, in terms of what we're looking for?
And it's Councillor Rose.
If we recognise this as a valuable service, why are we only doing it for 1 year?
I think we can do it for 3. It was just in the past what we've done is we've looked at it, looked at the evaluation, felt so that members get the opportunity to say, yeah, this really works or this really didn't. We can do it for 3, and I can make it subject to satisfactory evaluation at the end of year 1, if you prefer.
Can I make bearing in mind what they're asking for,
Yeah.
could we do 1 year, just perhaps 1,500,
Yeah.
and then evaluate it and then see if, because I mean that's all they're asking for at the moment.
Yeah, and
That's
my
the
thing
grant.
is why
Yeah.
why would we go to them asking 2,500?
I
But
feel
that's the
we
grant,
should,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, I feel we should perhaps offer them 1,500 as
Okay.
as
So
an
offer them
agreement
what they're
for
asking
1 year.
for.
It's more than they're asking for, but
Well, we can.
we could. We just inclined to all round things.
It's going to lose £500.
What?
Bearing in mind that you did suggest you took
Right. So
up to 2.5.
right. There are sort of
There's lots of stuff going on here.
yes. So are we looking then at a wellbeing funding of £1,500 for, or Councillor Rose has said 3 years, subject to at the end of year 1 a satisfactory evaluation before we move it to for the additional 2 years. Is that to summarise what members are wanting, or do we just do it for 1 year?
In the future, they might need more than 1.5.
So my view on this
Yeah.
is that if we're going to give a group a lump sum of money and we're going to commit for 3 years, I would quite like to find out what difference that's going to make, how many people it's going to benefit, is it going to improve year on year? So hear what you're saying, Sally. So I think maybe if we went to either the amount of 1,500 for 1 year, we then get the opportunity to talk to them about what is coming up. How can we improve on this? What difference can you make if we give you some more? And then we could go on to a 3-year SLA at the end of the 1 year if we were all satisfied.
Whatever
Does that make
amount
sense?
then decide
And we would also have then we would also then have the outcomes of our community strategy consultation, etc. And we would actually also have what other residents are wanting us to support within the community. So, right. So to summarise, the proposal recommendation from Councillor Graham is that a £1,500 from Wellbeing Fund for 1 year. Then evaluation then will reflect our community strategy going forward.
Yes.
So,
I'm happy to second that.
Councillor
Thank
Rose to
you.
second that. All the members, all those in favour?
Can I just add there that people have got into the habit of applying for a grant every other year? I feel, it's for debate, but I feel that if we give funding through the wellbeing budget on a regular basis, it should actually replace grant applications from that applicant.
And I think
Unless
it's something
it's-
this
Yeah.
committee has talked about in the
Yeah.
past, that, you know, we grant seed fund, but they don't sort of then help to actually mature groups and to continue to deliver, so that, you know, so this enables groups then, if we're giving this to actually mature, to actually then deliver longer term and to make, you know, and to meet
And I
greater
think it opens the
objects.
door to new groups as well.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's, so nobody was against, anybody abstaining? Councillors Davis, Staines, Francis abstaining. Yeah, okay. We,
Okay, so Alpha Omega WPS Foundation, we funded them not in this financial year, but in the last financial year for an Empower Her project where they were training professionals to understand more about female genital mutilation, forced marriage, etc. This is an evaluation on what they spent the money on and how it worked. Again, it's a valuable project, but I feel that before we look at funding them any further, we need to look at the community strategy and allow that to identify where the gaps are. That's just my view. I don't know if members think differently. Go on.
no, I complete spot, you know, it's not the first time I said it tonight, that we need to await the outcome of our community strategy before we actually look to how we're going to allocate funding for future years. Aware that a lot of the funding that we've been funding is coming to end year 3 or 3. So, you know, we need to sort of, yeah, it is actually,
Yeah,
yes, it's just falling in quite nicely.
Gives us a nice chunk of money to support the areas that they identify that need it most.
Yeah.
So it's good. There's an ASB report from our Public Services Manager in there on page 42. Anyone would like to read? It's just for noting.
The update on the community
Yeah.
strategy.
So the community strategy update is that they contacted me yesterday. Katie and I have been talking about it today. They are ready to do the physical sessions and they're looking for some dates from us and they're going to give us a full update. So we will go back to them and obviously keep you in the loop. We're just looking at things that they had suggested next week, but it's really busy week next week with new clerks starting, and so we might push it to the week after. I don't think we need to be hugely involved, as in here in this office. But if they're doing drop-ins, obviously you need to know about it, and so do we, so that we can drop in too. So
Yeah, because it was one thing that members wanted was that we would have these drop-in sessions within our ward so we can support them, etc. So those dates need to be worked for us as members as well. So we need to be aware of those dates.
We've asked for some clarification today, and hopeful that we'll get that back tomorrow, and then I'll circulate to all and let you know what's going on. Okay.
Any further questions on that before we move on? Councillor Rose.
We've got looking at the ASB report from Public Service Manager.
Yeah.
If we ask would they go to Public Services, the police? Would they be, if Town Council wanted to invite the police,
The police
they
have
go
already
to-
asked if they can come.
would they go to Public Services?
They're asking if they can come to Town Council on the 2nd of December, 2 of them. They've been in to meet us, and I told them they were very welcome to come to any. They've been online and they've asked if they can attend that one, but I can ask them if they'll do public services.
They don't think they want them to attend too, but maybe
Public service is more important.
Lindsay's in touch with them anyway though. They came in the other day and met us, and I think they what they're choosing to do is a new beat sergeant who wants to come and meet members, and I've offered him a 15-minute slot at the beginning, 5 minutes of the 15
well, I'll
minute
leave you to
slot.
sort that out then, John.
If you prefer it,
Between you and Liz, I'm sure we'll sort it out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on then to item 10, budget considerations. I think what we have in front of us is a proposed budget 26-27.
Okay, so Dawn and I spoke earlier about this, and because of the fact we haven't got the community strategy back, I think these were figures that were just floated by members at the last meeting. I don't think they're approvable figures. I feel that we should keep it, apart from £3,699, we should keep it where it is, which would reflect a 2.15% increase. The 3699 would go on the increase from library funding. It would go on the increase of Remembrance Sunday services, which is going up every year, and £500 for Tree of Light. So it would keep it to takes it back to 172,172, which represents a 2.15% increase, rather than the 8.1% that was proposed initially.
Which is in line with what the Finance and Governments Committee, when we received the budgets for all the service committees, we asked them to go back and to look to make sure to really reduce their budgets down, so it was within a 2.5% increase.
Yeah.
So so the libraries is because of inflation and payer awards, etc. And then Remembrance has become an expensive item, so we've got, and it's something that we can't really cut the budget on. There are things there which
The infrastructure costs.
So if we're happy with those reduced figures, then to go so basically it's just
That amount, almost.
yes. So
taking out, so instead of going to 70 on wellbeing, we'd leave it at 60, which brings it out at 172,172, which represents a 2.15-ish increase on last year's figures.
Are we happy to recommend it to Finance and Governance Committee? Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Graham, seconded. Councillor Dennis Francis. All those in favour? Approved. Unanimous. Thank you, members. And that brings us to the end of the meeting. Only to note the date of the next meeting, which is Tuesday the 20th of January at 6 p.m.